Today, we're going to talk about the last game and why it showed that our team still has a long way to go before establishing itself in the NFL elite. We know how much it hurts to see our team fighting, playing well, but losing because of mistakes that could have been avoided. But what if I told you that these mistakes, although frustrating, might be what will shape the Commanders' future? Stay until the end, as I have a complete analysis of this game and how the team needs to react to secure a playoff spot. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed yet, click there to not miss anything about our team, as this journey still promises a lot of excitement. Look, we know that facing a strong defense like the Pittsburgh Steelers is complicated. They not only have a solid defensive system, but they're also one of the teams that make the fewest mistakes and know, like no other, how to force opponents to make mistakes. It's precisely this combination that puts them ahead this season. But that's where the question lies for the Commanders. Our defense needs to learn from this. Pittsburgh made 2 huge mistakes, but still managed to take the win. This only happens because they have a defense that compensates for any slip-ups and a solid offensive game. Now, I'm not saying we don't have potential. The Commanders, at the beginning of the game, managed to take advantage of the gaps. With James Pierre's drop on a fake punt and Jaylen Warren's fumble, we managed to score a touchdown. However, even though these Steelers' mistakes gave us some hope, our own sequence of failures was what really cost us the victory. The last fatal error, that offsides by Newton, was just the end of a list of small slips that, added up, made the difference. What happens is that individual errors end up being costly. Johnny Newton jumped at a time when everyone knew Russell Wilson was just trying to deceive and draw a neutral zone infraction. It was the type of play where our team needed to be more alert. And if the penalty was the final error, there were a series of others, like the Commanders' defensive fouls on the Steelers' initial drive. And we know the impact of these penalties, especially against teams that know how to capitalize on them. When we look at the decisive plays, we notice that Coach Mike Tomlin knew how to neutralize our quarterback Jaden Daniels well, who usually manages to make good plays with his legs. This shows that the Steelers' defense was very well prepared and studied our style of play. Mike Tomlin excels at this, and we need to learn how to handle this pressure. Our players have to find ways to break these well-organized defenses. Moreover, it wasn't just Newton who made mistakes. On the Steelers' first touchdown, our defense was completely disorganized, and we ended up giving away 2 decisive penalties, a pass interference and a roughing the passer by Jeremy Chin. Both these plays gave an easy first down and helped the Steelers advance to our red zone. We need more discipline in these moments. These are details that change the course of a game. Receiver Olamide Zaccheaus didn't help much in the first half either. He had 2 unsuccessful punts, which was crucial for the Steelers to take advantage of the chances. And honestly, who would have thought we'd miss a player like Jamison Crowder? He could have been a safer alternative to handle these situations. Zaccheaus had a chance to recover after his first mistake, but on the second one, he let the ball slip away, giving more space to the opposing team. Other drops, like those from Dyami Brown and Zach Ertz, also proved costly. In the NFL, every opportunity counts, and we need receivers who can make these critical receptions. Dyami Brown, for example, had a drop near halftime that almost compromised our advantage. Even though it was saved by Austin Eckler's touchdown, it shows a weakness that our offense needs to correct if we want to stay competitive against top teams. By the way, the issue with drops didn't stop there. We saw Luke McCaffrey and John Bates make mistakes at crucial moments. Bates, for example, had a holding penalty on a strong run by Chris Rodriguez Jr., which could have given a chance to kill more time and improve the team's field position. This shows that, besides correcting these errors, we need more consistency among players. We can't depend only on Terry McLaurin and Noah Brown to secure plays. Amid all this, it's important to highlight that our team didn't play badly. In fact, we played without half of our offensive line against one of the best front sevens in the NFL. Facing a defense of this intensity without our full strength is a Herculean task. And even so, we managed to have moments of brilliance. This is the type of game that, despite the defeat, can be a lesson for us because it shows where we need to improve. Now we come to the point where we have to look at Coach Dan Quinn. He has managed to get the team to recover from defeats before and will need that same commitment, as next week we'll have the biggest challenge of the season against the Philadelphia Eagles. This is one of those Thursday night football games that can define the course of the season. And that's why we're here, cheering and hoping that the team adjusts the details that were missing against the Steelers. Folks, this other analysis is for the true Washington Commanders fans. We're here to talk about one of our big names this season, who's making history on the field. Yes, I'm talking about him, veteran Dante Fowler. You, fan who follows the team closely, know how crucial this guy has been. In the last game, despite the bitter loss to the Steelers, he showed that his path to the Pro Bowl is stronger than ever. And who doesn't want to see one of our defensive players shining in the NFL's most anticipated event? So, stay until the end because this story deserves to be told down to the last detail. Look, the loss to the Steelers in Week 10 was heartbreaking. We were doing well with a 7-2 campaign, but this loss came with a harsh reality. However, at the same time, it brought important lessons and some highlights worth mentioning. One of them? Definitely Fowler Jr. He continues to accumulate impressive numbers and has become the standout in the Commanders' defense. As a fan, this brings pride because we know he's on his way to one of the league's most coveted awards. Now, for those who think I'm exaggerating, I'll bring the numbers. Against the Steelers, Fowler Jr. tallied no less than 2 sacks of the team's total 3 in the game. He also completed 5 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 quarterback hits. Just to give you an idea, he leads the NFL in the last 6 games with 8.0 accumulated sacks. Not everyone can achieve this average, and the guy has been doing this game after game. This puts him not only among the best of the Commanders, but also among the best in the league. It's easy to see we're talking about a heavyweight name. Besides these numbers, Fowler Jr. already has 8.5 sacks this year. This puts him in 3rd place in the NFL, behind only the Giants, and above names that usually dominate the headlines, like Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, and Nick Bosa. So, fan, if you're not yet seeing this guy's impact on the field, it's time to pay attention. He's putting our team in the spotlight, and this will help a lot in our position in upcoming games. And let's add a bit more context here. He's not just the most efficient pass rusher in the NFC, but he's competing neck and neck with the best interior and exterior defenders in the entire league. Only Dexter Lawrence of the Giants has achieved a higher number of sacks in the NFC, but he plays on the interior line, which is a very different scenario. Fowler Jr. is on the outside line, which requires a very specific type of skill, and certainly more challenging. Fan, we're seeing Fowler Jr. match the mark he achieved in 2019, when he had 11.0 sacks with the Rams. So if he maintains this pace, the sky's the limit. Now think about it. If Pro Bowl voting started today, don't you think Fowler Jr. would be one of the favorites? I'd say he's already ahead of many who were touted as favorites before the season began. And you know why? Because he's not just making sacks, he even had a pick 6 this year, which is quite an achievement for a pass rusher. Additionally, his quarterback pressure rate, which is at 17.4%, is the 7th best among all pass rushers with at least 29 pressures. He's a guy who plays at a high level and is always bothering opposing quarterbacks, which is a huge differential. And look, Fowler Jr.'s individual success isn't just about numbers. He's a key piece in our performance as a team. Each of his sacks, each pressure, each tackle makes the Commanders' defense become more solid and respected. And this, my friends, is essential for our season and, of course, for playoff ambitions. He's a force on the field, and as a fan, it's very good to see this type of consistency and delivery, especially from a veteran. It's fair to say that his first Pro Bowl nomination is not only deserved, but a matter of justice. However, here's the point of attention. What if, somehow, he ends up not receiving this honor? I'll tell you, it would be one of the biggest robberies of the season. The Pro Bowl is the recognition that any player seeks, and in Fowler Jr.'s case, it would be a fair prize for someone who's giving their all game after game. And if he's not chosen, the disappointment wouldn't be just his, but of all our fans who are following this journey closely and know he deserves to be there. Now, I want to hear from you, fan. What do you think? Will Dante Fowler Jr. finally get his first Pro Bowl nomination? And if he doesn't, will that impact our defense going forward? Leave your comment, subscribe to the channel, and let's follow every step of this journey together. This season promises a lot, and our guy on defense deserves all the recognition. Stay tuned because there's still a lot of good stuff coming.